SBR Industry News Update, reporting for sportsbookreview.com. SBG Global has told SBR that 2 payment complaints reported earlier this month have been sorted. 2 players had contacted SBR stating that their withdrawals, both for $5,000, were not being processed in a timely manner. SBR considers these disputes closed. SBG Global players with payment complaint feedback are encouraged to write to help@sportsbookreview.com. In other news, GTBets has earned a ratings upgrade to C+. Last summer, GTBet surfaced as longtime industry book VIP Sports closed its doors. SBR then confirmed that GTBet acquired the VIP software, hardware, and retained key management personnel. GTBet paid the remaining VIP Sports players and has managed to steer clear of any major complaints. The Sportsbook tells SBR that they are rolling out a new mobile platform expected this summer, as well as making improvements to the wagering software. And finally, a Bet33 player tells SBR that $1,900 has been debited from his account due to alleged past post wagers. Past posting is the act of placing bets after a game has started. In an unusual twist, the player acknowledges past posting on at least one occasion via telephone, but argues that Bet33 debited only winning bets, whilst the losing tickets, which were all placed in the same manner, were left settled. SBR has asked the player to provide a full list of all wagers that he believes were past post, so that it can be determined what, if anything, he would be entitled to. SBR advises players to play it straight and to follow house rules to avoid headaches. Intentionally cheating a sportsbook could very well haunt a player in the future, as industry books share information on undesirable and/or fraudulent players. For more detailed information on this case, we welcome lead SBR dispute analyst Justin Seven to the program. Welcome, Justin.
Thanks, Natalie. Yes, I was handling the investigation of this dispute. The player past posted Bet33 on many games, mostly soccer games, and he only placed bets when the team he was backing was up, or he would place the over if there was an early goal also. What Bet33 did is they avoided all of his wagers that had pass posts, both winning and losing, and the net debit was $1,900. Now you say, how can a player pass post? Because obviously books don't want this to happen. It can cause all sorts of huge headaches. We had a major pass post dispute involving WagerWeb a couple years ago, where there was a software problem, where if a player called in a phone clerk and played, at that point, the software would allow a bet as long as he stayed on the phone. In this case, though, the sportsbook would manually allow players to place bets after the start of a game, and they weren't as diligent as they should have been to making sure that the game had actually started or that there hadn't been a score.
Earlier this month, we discussed a dispute where SportingBet refused to honour an earned free bet. Has there been any more developments in this case to date?
Yes, the dispute was brought before the Alderney Gambling Control Commission, and the resolution was surprisingly poor. SportingBet has a rule that says SportingBet reserves the right to refuse a free bet to the customer where SportingBet reasonably believes that such customer has historically or is abusing or defrauding the free bet system, for example, engaging in arbitrage. The dispute was brought before the Gambling Commission, and the Gambling Commission's response was very token. You can look at their full response here in this image. It just says, we're pleased to report we've completed our investigation. Having reviewed the evidence, we confirm that SportingBet's decision is final. They basically complied with their own rules. Now, the things that are troubling about this decision, one, the rule gives SportingBet a free pass to do whatever it wants. It gives them the right to cancel the agreement at will for any or no reason. The second thing that's very troubling about it is it allows them to cancel an earned bonus when the player has done all activity necessary to earn it. This would be equivalent to me offering to pay a guy to mow my lawn with me reserving a right to refuse payment for any reason after he finishes mowing the lawn, saying, no, I'm not going to pay you. So, I'm looking at this decision and I'm wondering, does the Alderney Gambling Control Commission have any understanding of how gambling law or even basic contract law works? Because if my sole remedy, if I'm playing at SportingBet, is to go to this commission and they're going to rubber stamp decisions without even looking at the law or even really looking into the facts that much, I don't think this commission can protect players.
Very true. And I liked your analogy there, Justin.
Thank you.
I also understand you have an Oddsmaker player dispute. Now, is this the first time to our knowledge that they have confiscated winnings from a poker player?
It is the first poker dispute we've had with them. A player made a deposit. He won about $6,000. When he went to cash it out, Oddsmaker refused. And they originally wanted him to make a rollover in sports, which their terms and conditions didn't say anything about. But he started to do that, and then the player got a call from Tony Messina just saying they're going to refund his deposit. Now, Oddsmaker has a history of doing this to hundreds of players, where if a player wins a substantial amount of money, usually about $3,000 or $4,000 or more, they deem him a professional player or make up some other excuse to confiscate his winnings. What's unusual about this is that this is the first time Oddsmaker has confiscated winnings from a poker player. Oddsmaker is currently in the merge network, which means if their actions are negatively affecting players, it affects potentially the whole merge network. So we're currently contacting the merge network to see if they understand and realize that Oddsmaker is confiscating winnings from players for no reason.
Okay, thank you once again, Justin, for the update, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Natalie.
Please stay tuned to the SBR Newswire for more industry news updates. I've been your host, Natalie Rydstrom, reporting for sportsbookreview.com.